Hi everybody, welcome to Mobility Monday. My name is Bart Hawkinson, physical therapist at Therapeutic Associates, Northlake Physical Therapy. Today I'm going to go over some of my favorite exercises for foot and ankle mobility. These are great for people that are on their feet all day, just things get a little tight, a little sore. And also ankle mobility and foot mobility can be a huge thing as far as your overall mobility. So difficulty squatting, difficulty walking, big one's difficulty with stairs. A lot of that stuff has a huge contribution from the foot and ankle. So these are just some simple things that can help with those functional tasks. All right, so the first part of the foot we're going to focus on is up into the forefoot and the area between the toes and the back of the foot here, which we call the metatarsals. And the metatarsals are a group of long bones down the foot that give the foot a lot of its structural stability, but also its ability to accommodate to ground. They tend to get tight through the day when we're on them all day long, and some simple little stretches that go a long ways towards making the foot feel better. First one, we sort of affectionately call this one the Popsicle stretch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a hold of the foot here and here. So I'm between the big toe and the second toe, not at the toe, but down over the long bone. And I'm going to do a little fanning folding motion, kind of like I'm trying to break in half one of those double popsicles. And I'm just going to move that hold for just a couple seconds, 2 to 3 seconds in each position. And I'll do that about 10 times, 5 or 10 times or so. I'm going to work my way down the foot, each one doing the same thing all the way down. You'll notice that the area on the end here, there should be a little bit more mobility there than there is up around by the big toe. Coming down to the end. Some people have different amount of flexibility through their legs, so I can get a hold of the foot either like this or like so, might be easier for some people, or propping it up onto a step stool or some such. Okay. Second stretch I'm going to do, we call this the Waterfall stretch. I'm going to hold right at the ball of the foot, sort of underneath, back behind the toes here. And then with my other hand, I'm going to come right just past where the toes connect to the foot. And I'm going to do a little downward pressure, a little downward push, bending the toes back. Okay. Can go through the big toe, which usually isn't a huge issue. Sometimes it does get a little stiff in folks. The lesser four toes are the ones that really get a lot of benefit from this from. Again, holding about 3 to 5 seconds, doing this about 5 to 10 times each. Final one, and a really important one, is getting good mobility at the big toe. And this is actually something that's, you wouldn't really think about the big toe much, but it's super important for walking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down by the base of the big toe. I'm going to grab the toe with my other hand, and I'm going to pull, like I'm trying to pull my toe off. And give it a little pull, and then I'm going to bend it upward. There really should be a fair amount of mobility at the big toe, probably more than you think. And that mobility is really important. A lot of foot conditions out there that limit this kind of mobility. And maintaining this is really important for normal gait, especially for runners. It's really important to have good mobility at the big toe. All right. Second piece we're going to work on, foot comes down onto the floor here. And it's good if you have a smooth, slippery surface, wood floor, linoleum, something like that. I'm going to put a towel down on this piece of wood here so my foot moves. And the motion I'm going to do is a little heel slide backwards. This is designed to create a little stretch in through the front of the ankle here. I'm going to make sure that my knee is still and that my foot slides directly under my knee here. Sometimes there's a tendency for it to kick out. I don't want it to deviate that way. It's okay if the foot has a little angulation to it, that's normal, but I don't want the knee to collapse inward like so. This one, I'm going to hold maybe about 5 seconds, maybe a little longer, maybe 10 seconds. I should feel a nice little stretch in there, and then I'm going to come forward. Make sure this heel stays down through this stretch. We want to keep the heel down. There'll be a tendency for it to come up at some point. At that point, we lose the stretch. So we'll do a couple more of these, sliding the heel back, gently leaning in to get a little stretch at the ankle, and sliding forward. One more time here. All right, and there's our stretch. All right, now moving on to some stretching for the calf muscle. I'm going to be up here doing this against the wall or a kitchen counter. Works really well. I'm going to put my right foot back, left foot forward. I'm going to make sure that I keep my heel pressed down into the floor and my toes are pointed straight ahead. There'll be a tendency for the foot to kick out like that. I want to keep the toes pointed forward. So heel stays down, knee is straight, and I'm going to lean in. Most of my weight is on my back leg here. Front foot is just for some stability. With these, I want to hold for a nice long stretch. Ideally, it should be about 30 seconds with these stretches. So we get a little hold here. You could say we do about 30 seconds if we were to stretch this. We'll come on up out of that. Now, the calf has two major parts to it. So to get the second part of the calf stretched out, I'm going to bring my feet a little closer together. I'm going to bend this knee a little bit. And I'm going to go into the same stretch. I'm kind of sinking down into the stretch. Knee is bent. I should feel this a little lower down towards the heel, towards the Achilles. Again, making sure the heel stays down, making sure the feet point straight ahead, and getting about a 30-second hold on this at a minimum. Okay. Definitely working through this on both feet, and if you like, you can go through a second round of 30 seconds. All right, so that's some of my favorite stuff for the foot and ankle. Okay, everybody, keep moving and take care of your feet.